Welcome everyone. Feels a bit strange to go here now live with you since I've been wearing this badge for 4 days now. And yes, supposed to be here to show up, so I'm showing up. Taking this off for the time being. I'm with you and introducing you to where I am at the moment. Oh, this is even better, although it's a bit hot in the sun. So earlier than normally, but I also found out that some of you are not living in the UK or my part of the planet, the world. So I see people are watching. Thank you so much for tuning in on this last day of the year. Oh, and this is also the reason why I've been wearing this badge that is saying silence, and I'm in this environment to withdraw myself from this year to what has been going on, and to check myself into a silent retreat for as long as I like to stay, although as it goes here, the first 3 days are mandatory. It's a Buddhist retreat, and this one is a special one. They're preparing, I'm not sure if I can show you, this is where we stay, and then there in the back they're preparing a setup for a ceremony tonight where I think there will be like 80 monks joining us. So I'm in a Buddhist retreat in Thailand, and tonight I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but yeah, let's see. So with all the contemplation I've been doing on myself, I shortly was contemplating on what to bring you today here in this space, to what is beneficial for your course and your own well-being. Maybe that is just this, to take time for yourself. Whatever lives we lead, even as me as a full-time yoga teacher, we need really to take the time and the space to step back and to step more into this yin mode. Even if we practice yin maybe a lot as well, it's very important. I was reading this morning, I turned on my phone and there was something I needed to check, and then this newsletter of one of my teachers, Bernie Clark, one of my yin yoga teachers, popped up, and he made a nice remark about resolutions, New Year's resolutions. And since we're here on this last day of the year, which can be such a landmark for us, yes, to look back at what has been, and to maybe take resolutions for what is to come, what steps we like to take, what energy we like to embody, maybe what things we like to change in our lives as well. And he was encouraging us to take it not so much yang, but go into the year into the yin way, which on one hand I am doing already. I'm entering the year in silence, and I've been contemplating a lot over the last days. But setting resolutions can be a very young thing to do, and I never thought about it that way. I've never been big on resolutions, although I find the new year a landmark. I haven't been partying for, I don't know, 9-10 years, since I normally was in the ashram in India, or I seek places like this where it's more silent, which gives us more the yin energy of going deeper inward and preparing ourselves for the new year to come and for whatever it's bringing us, so we're prepared for what is there. I find that silence and meditation is a big part of yoga practice. Either if you practice yang or yin, it doesn't matter so much. But coming back to Bernie Clark, and I have to take some water because I haven't been talking so much. This is all of a sudden a lot for my throat. If I remember or interpretate correctly, then his analogy, you can say, about New Year's resolutions is making resolutions are seeking something you like to change and making a commitment with yourself that you're gonna change this into the new year. So for a lot of people it's like, I'm gonna cut this out of my diet, or I want to meditate every day, or I want to lose weight, or I'm gonna go to yoga 3 times a week, or I take one of the precepts or the yamas or the new yamas more into my life. And it's quite strict and demanding, and it's change, and that is quite young way as well. It's quite an outward energy to change in that way. And what I really like that he said, that also we can do this more the yin way, which is something that here in the meditation retreat, after every sitting, the monks are doing a version of metta meditation where they encourage on, of course, spreading compassion, first towards yourself, then from yourself to others in the space, and from the space into the bigger sangha community, and then they say so nicely in the district of Pai, because this is where we are, the province, and then in the whole of Thailand, and then in the whole world. And then also from this compassion and metta to seek forgiveness, to be forgiven. And I find this a very profound and deep one. Tears are coming. And to forgive. This for me clicked with what Bernie was writing. And I might attach the article underneath about, instead of taking New Year's resolutions, why not resolve things? So come to terms with things, do it more the yin way. More silence, more contemplation, more acceptance, resolving instead of changing. The world ever wants to change everything that is not right, we need to change for the better. Everything that is not good with us, we need to change. Why not resolve? Which is, yes, such a yin way. Accept, meet it with full compassion, and be with it. Which is, yet it needs this time of contemplation and inwardness. It's not this outward energy. It's not so young as I make a resolution and I'm going for this now, and I promise myself that, and then I know myself, I try, I do my best, and one day it's costing so much energy. It's not coming from me, from the deeper inside anymore. It's not giving me also the same satisfaction. And when I was contemplating what I actually want out of this life is satisfaction, full deep satisfaction and contentment, santosha, and that can only come when we accept, because otherwise there's no contentment. This is only possible when we have compassion. Because even in meditation, I get disturbed by the person next to me coughing or changing their seat, or there's a bulldozer out of my room, even in this environment, creating some new structure next to my house. I can get worked up by that, which is very yang energy. Or I can tap into my yin and accept and be just content where I am in the moment. So showing up in this space, knowing that I had to break my silence, I struggled with that first. I was like, no, I don't want to do this actually. Can we not postpone? And then I thought, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. I stay anchored with myself and anchored in my own truth and the purity I've been building up here, and yeah, then I can resolve this feeling as well, that it's fine. Just accept. This is what life is at the moment. And for me, even though the philosophies are so different, or not so different, it's different. When we take Buddhism and we take Taoism, it's a difference. I always remember it's getting a bore. I remember maybe you know the picture of I think it's the vinegar something. I can't find the word at the moment. But you see Buddha and Confucius and Lao Tse standing around this big pot of vinegar. And this big pot of vinegar is filled with pickles, like these little cucumbers that are become very sour by the vinegar. And the vinegar is the analogy for the essence of life. And the three persons, of course, depict the philosophy behind the Buddha, the philosophy behind Lao Tse Taoism, and the philosophy of Confucius. And it was all existent at the same time of age in an area like this where I am in Asia. And people were either following that leader or that leader or that leader, like we do today still. We either follow a certain philosophy, we have our own life philosophy, we might be religious, whatever it is. We have a certain way we want to move through life, and there are some hooks, you can say, that you can hang yourself up on, or your coat on, like, this is what I believe. So that essence of life, the vinegar, what I wanted to do to explain a little bit the difference between Buddhism and Taoism. First of all, Confucius was like with the pickles and the vinegar, and he said, no. We have to teach our people the right recipe, so the pickles can taste nice, yes, because this is too sour, it's not right. So this really depicts how the philosophy was of Confucius as well. Everything had to be follow the rules, then everything will be okay. And his rules were very, very strict. Very strict. Even when he would sit and talk to his people, his mat had to be in a certain angle, and if it was like a few millimeters off, he got like maybe dissatisfied, discontent, maybe a little bit angry even, that it was not right. It had to be very perfectly right. But we all learn through Yin as well that the just right is different for everyone. But he was putting his, if I can give my own interpretation, his just right on everyone, and everyone had to follow these rules. So the pickles were too sour in his opinion, so he had to teach his people how to make the pickles more nice. And then the Buddha was there. And the Buddha is like, no, we have to take the pickles out of the vinegar. because they have to separate, because this is suffering. Yes, the bitterness of the essence of life is suffering, and this is what Buddhism is about. Take everything out, everything away, away. Like if I observe the monks here and go into the teachings of the precepts, which starts with the 5 precepts, like do no harm, do not engage in sexual misconduct, do not eat after 12, and this is because they depend on lay people to make the food for them. So there's 5 precepts, and then from the 5 you can go into the 8, from the 8 you can go into 10, and you just like discard everything until you're in an orange robe and you don't have anything anymore, no belongings, and you rely on other people to take care of you, so to say. So not out of like I want to be taken care of, but out of the fact that if you take all these things out of life, you don't have to buy your food, you don't have to cook your food, you don't have to think about like cleaning your house, you don't have to think about all the normal daily life things, about what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna do. Then you can spend your whole day on doing good, gaining merit, good karma, and with that serve the world, meditate. So the world can become a little bit brighter through the meditation of the monks, where they can share compassion, and hopefully that reflects to others. So you take everything away that can cause suffering as well. That was the Buddhist way. And then Lao Tse was there, and yeah, leaning over that same big pot with vinegar, the essence of life, with the pickles in there. And I think he said something like, oh, the vinegar might be sour and the pickles might not taste nice, or something is bitter in here, but this is what nature gave us. This is how it is. We just have to accept this. And when we accept this, we have a choice also. And this is one step further. Because accepting is one thing, but then what kind of thoughts do you have when you accept it? Are you still raging like, oh, I accept it, but I still don't like it? Or I don't agree, but okay, for the peace between us, I say you're right. So it's like a almost passive-aggressive acceptance. Which is different than resolving, because then it doesn't matter. It's just as it is. And this is what Taoism is all about. They observe nature and they see, okay, this is what it is. Like, okay, I can seek the shade to talk to you. I could have chosen to sit in the sun and be too hot. Oh. But now the sun is creeping in and I'm like, okay, it's what's happening. And I'm actually grateful for the sun, because it is like 9 degrees here at night and in the mornings, and super misty, and so that comes for me with a lot of contentment, the acceptance for what life brings us. And of course we have to think about our main needs that keeps us safe. Yes, so if there's something with our health, yes, we have to seek assistance. When there's something else, we have to see. You cannot say like, okay, I super sick now and I just accept. Maybe you find assistance. But fighting the illness is bringing a lot of yang energy in, and most likely that won't help the healing. So yeah, I like what Bernie said, going into the new year to resolve things instead of taking New Year's resolutions. And maybe with this talk I inspired you in a certain way. Maybe first of all to seek some self-care. into the new year. Whatever year you had, to seek some self-care. And if we care for ourselves, it becomes easier to care for others. And I feel also it becomes easier to go into this acceptance and contentment and resolvement, and to send forgiveness. So this is for me how my last day of the year will look. We have a big event here tonight, so a lot of people will come in, and then that is finished at around, I think, 8 p.m. Then there's nothing else to do than just to sit in the space, or to rest and sleep, and to resolve to send compassion and forgiveness to. And I feel this is still a big thing for me. It's not easy, but to anyone that did harm to me, they might not even notice, and it harmed me in a certain way, so I have to also send that compassion to myself, and to send that to others. Anyone who I ever harmed, so I hope they forgive me. And I feel this is really a yin way. So this goes way further maybe than what your teachings are at the moment, or what you're immersed in yourself. But I hope it sparks something, and if not, it's fine also. I'm content, and this is just what came in a moment when I took that batch off. This is what got stuck of the last days, and yeah. I think this is it. I'm wishing you a beautiful transition, and yes, remember, we all have a life, and it's different for everyone, and everyone has always also experienced that same life. Maybe we observe from the outside, different on the inside. And with that, the only thing we can do, if we want to find like pure relationships and integration and peace, yes, peace in the world, especially nowadays, then compassion and forgiveness are two main tools to work with. And these are easily put into your practice. Yin practice for sure, your yang practice as well, your sitting meditation, your daily tasks. Every person you meet, you can bring this in, compassion and forgiveness. And I found this can do a lot for our purity and to purify our emotions, especially when they're very strong, or when there's a lot of anxiety present, which is also in our collective environment at the moment. So yeah, sending that to you now from here, from this place, and seeing you on the flip side, as I would say. Thank you for being here live with me, or anyone who's watching this later. I'm gonna put my badge back on, and bless you, wishing you all of this for the time to come, taking it step by step, not too young, maybe also not too yin, just find your own middle way. Yes, what suits you. But no, there's always two sides to the coin. And yeah, the practice is calling you. As they say here, sadhu sadhu. Thank you for sharing this space.